a beautiful marriage, a place of peace and happiness and tranquility. And so that's why this program comes to help you, to help all of us. Nobody is a is perfect or knows it all. We are
We are
all
all
learning, we are all
students.
students. And that's why the name of the program is School of Marriage, because marriage is a school. You get to learn every day, learn new things about your spouse, about marriage, even about yourself. You get to know yourself and discover some things about yourself as you go on in the marriage. So don't rush it, don't be hard on yourself, don't be quick to quit, don't be quick to tell yourself don't be too hard on yourself. It's a progress, it's a process. It's gradual, and you will get there. So just be patient with one another, be understanding, be kind, and be determined that no matter what, your marriage is going to work. And that's the whole essence of this program. And we're just here to encourage you and to let you know that it doesn't matter what you're going through right now, it doesn't matter what stage you're at in your marriage. Your marriage can be a successful marriage. Your marriage can be an exemplary marriage to many people out there. So just hold on and do the work, put in the effort, love that spouse, be patient with that spouse, be understanding with that spouse, and be friendly or be friends with your spouse. And with the help of God, definitely, because God loves marriage. He is the creator and the institutor of marriage. And so He wants our marriages to work. So, with the help of God, definitely, your marriage can work as well.
Yeah, we cannot do away with the God factor.
Sure,
We
sure.
need God in our marriages. We need God in whatever we do in
Hmm.
life. And it's not easy to get married. It's not easy to stay married.
Hmm.
And that's why the God factor is there. And in marriage, you come across so many challenges. There are
Hmm.
storms of life. Even if you're not married, you're going to face storms of life.
Yeah.
But the good thing is when you're married, you have someone that you can go through the storm together with. You
Mhm.
won't be alone in the storm of life. And
That's
today we'll
right.
be talking about one of the storms,
Hmm.
that you'll face in marriage. I wish this never happens, but for some people it happens, and when it happens, it's different for different people. For some it happens immediately they get into marriage. I've heard of some couple that as soon as they were done with the weddings, they faced this storm. Some is somewhere in the middle, some is somewhere later. But whenever you face this storm, there are things you ought to do so that your boat will not sink, your
Hmm.
ship will not sink. Someone called relationship as a ship that carries relations, and
Hmm.
you need to go through this storm in a way that instead of sinking, you allow this storm to help you to move to
Hmm.
a higher level. And today we'll be talking about navigating financial storms in
Hmm.
marriage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Navigating financial storms in marriage. For some of us, we faced some storms already. Some are going through some storms now, and some may go through sometime in the future.
Hmm.
But whenever it comes, I don't want you to think that it is strange that
Hmm.
it's happening to you alone. Different couples have faced their storms, and it's not written. The good thing is that sometimes it's not written on the face. It
Hmm.
depends on how you carry yourself. No
Yeah.
one need to know what you're going through, but you need to know how to handle what you're going through so that it doesn't become a signboard on your face.
Hmm.
Sometimes you have situation where one of the spouses loses the job,
Hmm.
or a situation where business does not go the way it was planned to go,
Hmm.
a situation where one policy or the other comes and affects the income of the family. There are even some places of work where if two people fall in love and they get married, automatically they
One
know that one
person will
person would
have
have to
to
go.
sacrifice.
And
Yeah.
it's not easy now depending on one person's salary. And there are some jobs that due to one reason or the other, uh, the project closes and things are not like before. What do you
Hmm.
do such times? We need to talk about this because many marriages have collapsed as
Hmm.
a result of this storm.
Yeah.
Some never saw it coming,
Hmm.
and when it came, it looks like is this meant to be? In fact, there are situations where people blame their spouses for the storm. They're like, everything was going fine before I got married. I married you now, and since I got married to you, I've been facing this crisis.
Hmm.
And it looks like, oh, Could it be that I married the wrong
Wrong
person?
person. Yeah.
No, please. In case you are having that thought, no,
Mm-hmm.
it's not because you married the wrong person. Even for those who are so sure they married the right person, there are times they face storms
Mm-hmm.
in life. So
Mm-hmm.
please don't give up. Learn how to navigate your way through the storms. And I need you to know that no storm would last forever. No
Yeah.
matter how long the night
Mm-hmm.
seems,
Yeah.
day will surely break. It will
Mm-hmm.
be a new day. There will
Mm-hmm.
be the sun rising and the ray of hope will come.
That's
So
right.
hold on tight and be supportive to your spouse. If your spouse is the one going through the major financial challenge, be supportive to your spouse. But even if it's one of you, it's surely going to affect
Mm.
the marriage finances. So how do we navigate our way through the storms in marriage, particularly the financial storm?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's what we're talking about today. Sometimes just like you were saying, it could look as if this storm is getting so long. It's like it's taking years, forever. The truth is that one day it will surely come to an end. It might look as though it has stayed for decades, like it will be looking so long in your eyes, but at the end of the day, one day, there's always an expiry date to every problem, to every challenge, to every issue that you will face in life. So likewise, the problem or the challenge with finance, when it comes to finance, it might be that there is a loss of job, there is a loss of business, a business deal that went wrong, an investment that went wrong. So many things can constitute financial challenge that can cause the marriage, the relationship to shake. And this has been identified, when finance has been identified as one of the topmost reasons why relationships break, why marriages break, why marriages are shattered, because they did not know how to handle. Some did not know, some did not see the financial problem coming. Anyway, who will see financial problem coming? Who will want to even, want that to happen? But the truth is that in life, things happen. And in this life we're in, you cannot select the challenge you will face. That's the power we don't have. If we have those powers, you're sure that many people would not choose to go through financial challenge. But it comes, it happens, and it can come to you unawares when you least expect it, when you don't know. And that's why we need to always be on our guard. We need to always prepare. We need to prepare for tomorrow. We need to prepare like though something can happen at any time, anyhow, anyway, when it comes to finance, when it comes to marriages. So always get prepared. Don't be among the people that, as a result of financial challenges, your marriage broke. It should even make you stronger. It should teach you. You should learn lessons from the situation. You should learn to be better, maybe better financial management manager. Just the situation. One thing with life is that don't allow the experiences that you go through to break you. Let them teach you and make you stronger and make you a teacher, an advisor to people who are coming, so that that experience does not waste. Rather, it becomes a tool in your hands that you can use to help yourself and help other people. So today we're going to just be sharing some ways that you can navigate this financial storm as a couple. When you face financial storm, see it as both of you. Even if it's one person who is like um the person who is really really at the point or in the forefront of the particular financial or any challenge, always see it as both of you. Don't ever feel, oh, it's his problem. No, it's our challenge, and we'll overcome. So one of the ways you can navigate financial storm as a couple is to learn to communicate. Learn to communicate openly about money. So many people don't know how to communicate about money. Some people don't even know how to communicate at all. But then when it comes to money, some don't even have a clue that there is a communication when it comes to money. There has to be an open communication. Don't hide informations about finance from your spouse. That's one way to solve the problem. That's one way to navigate this financial issue. You find out some couples where um they are not open to each other. They don't talk about things. They don't talk about maybe if they are in debt or something, or if they have challenge with money. They just keep, if they have money somewhere. Some people are just secretive when it comes to money. They just want to hide everything about money. So you need to learn how to communicate, how to be open, how to be free, how to don't allow money to be your lord, to control you. Be in charge of money, be in control of money. You also learn how to not to be judgmental towards your spouse when it comes to money. Learn them, understand why they act the way they act when it comes to money. So you get to communicate and know each other on a financial level, on a financial or money. When it comes to money, learn about your spouse, learn about each other. It will go a long way to help you navigate um, the
The
financial
storm.
storm. Yeah.
All right, I like this cliche that we're in it together.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing
Mm-hmm.
as good as letting your spouse know that we're
Yeah.
in this together. You're not alone. I'm with
Mm-hmm.
you, and we're going to go through together. So
Mm-hmm.
the first point, in case you didn't get it, is be open
Mm.
about money. Communicate openly about
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
And the second point,
Sorry, sir.
okay,
Before you go ahead, I wanted to add, also let your spouse know your financial income. Some people are married and their spouse don't have an idea. Like, yeah, there can be times where maybe there is an increase in salary or something, but their spouses don't even have an idea what their income is. As in, there are people who are that secretive. You have to learn to be open. Even when they give you a gift, monetary gift, learn to express and share with your spouse. You know.
yeah, and being open will release you of certain pressure. It will
Yeah.
relieve you of certain pressure. The challenge is if in dating,
Hmm.
the man especially had given a kind of front
Mm.
which is not the true picture.
Mm-hmm.
That's even the foundation of financial crisis,
Exactly.
because the lady now has certain expectations,
Mm.
and now in marriage, you are not able to keep up with those expectations.
Yeah.
That shows that you failed in being open. There's nothing wrong in letting your spouse that this is how much I receive,
Mm-hmm.
this is my financial strength. I can't afford this for now. Why don't we think of this? So that even before saying I do, before getting married, she knows your state and she knows what to expect.
Mm.
Than for you trying to bring her front just to win her over, how
Mm.
long are you going to pretend? So it's better you are open about it. And I think one fear people have for not being open is the fear that the spouse may take undue advantage of
Yeah.
them and their
Mm-hmm.
money, when they are open. So that also puts the responsibility on the spouse to show sense of responsibility, to
Yeah.
show that they are not wasters.
Yeah.
That's the fear some people have.
Have. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when you talk with some men, they let you know that if you are that open, any money you receive is gone. Your wife would already prepare budget for 100% of the money. But you can have an understanding wife who knows that,
Yeah.
yes, even though this is what my husband is receiving, this is what we can work with.
With.
We need to
Yeah.
save this other portion. And it goes the two ways, because today you have women who are also secretive about what they receive
Mm.
for the fear that the husband would waste it. You've had stories of men who are involved in certain behaviors or habits that leads to waste of resources.
Resources, yeah.
So there is a need for us to work on ourselves as individuals so that our spouses can trust us and be open to us when it comes to financial discussion. Closely related to that point is the need to create shared budgets.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's good to know what my financial state is, but it's also good that we have a budget. And
Yeah.
what's a budget? A budget is a financial plan, stating the expected income or the income, and expenditure. So, what are you going to receive this coming month? We have an expectation. Oh, your salary is coming. X amount is your salary. Y amount is my salary. We are having X, Y, or X plus Y as our total income for this month. From X plus Y, we will need to pay children's school fees. They are about resuming school. We need to put aside social percentage, social amount
Mm.
for the rent, so that before the rent is due, we have been able to save up enough money
Enough,
for the rent.
yeah.
We need to put another amount aside for transportation or fueling.
Mm-hmm.
Today I was talking about reflecting, about our finances, and I said that we are not wasting money. I just realized and concluded that a good part of our money goes into transportation, fueling,
Yeah.
it's a whole lot. So there's a need to plan ahead because there are times you take a pause and reflect and wonder, am I wasting money or
Mm-hmm.
where is the
Like,
money
where is the
going?
money? Did I lose money?
But when you check your record, you see you are able to have a budget and you track your record, you track your expenses. You'll be able to pinpoint where the money is going. You are able to follow the money. We shouldn't talk about following the money nationally if we are not starting from the home front.
Mm.
As individuals, we should be able to plan and follow the money and ensure that we maintain financial discipline. There are some things that are not important.
Yeah.
In fact, now I was going through some articles that even advise against uniforms. So, for those who spend a whole lot of money on uniforms for ceremony,
How should it be?
Ashwebi and Co, whatever name it comes with, that's one way to save your money. That article was saying that you shouldn't travel together in uniform, or you have to be careful. Nowadays. So because I know that for many, that's one area that money goes. The grade of the uniform, because now
Mm-hmm.
there are different grades for the
Yeah.
ceremony. You don't
Yeah.
want to buy the one that others will see that, oh, you bought the
The
lower
cheap.
grade. And when you buy the uniform, the sewing is another
Oh,
amount,
goodness.
for one day event, and then the accessories to go with the uniform.
Mm-hmm. You
you
have to
know
buy them.
I think for the men are simpler. You just wear whatever it is and you go. But for ladies, there are accessories: the shoes to go, the bag to go, the
Mm-hmm.
necklace to go, the headgear to go with the uniform. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my god. So if you are not disciplined, before you know, some of these expenses not budgeted for
Planned for,
will
yeah.
steal your money.
Yeah.
So there's a need to create a shared budget and know what your priorities are.
Mm-hmm.
Ensure that you save before you spend. Not many people know that formula. Some think that it's whatever remains you save. You must have a target for saving. When you budget, what percentage are we saving, and take that out.
Mm.
What percentage is going for a special project? Take all those out. What percentage is going for the school fees? Those things we are responsible for that we need to pay. If we're
That
living
we
in a,
must
we
pay
must pay.
for,
If
you
we're
know.
living in an estate, what percentage needs to
Mm-hmm.
go for maybe the security, the water? If you are using shared meter or electricity, you need to put that aside so that your neighbors or other members will not wonder why you are not meeting
Always
up.
defaulting, yeah.
Those are things that you need to prioritize, amenities and the rest. Then you now see what's remaining. From what's remaining, you now know how you're going to spend. From there, remember I said your savings is number one. You need to save for the rainy days. This will help you, when the storms come. You need to plan ahead
Yeah.
for the storm.
All right. So the next point talks about setting common financial goals. This is really, really important. And this is something a lot of couples take for granted. They don't do this. Many people don't do it. Many people don't see the need to do it. And so when they have money, when finances come to their hands, because there is no financial goal, there's nothing that have been set like, oh, this is what we're going to achieve this year. The money comes and just leaves. And this is what has this is something that consistently happens. It reoccurs year after year, year after year in so many marriages. We need to really be deliberate. We need to really take into cognizance that you as a couple, you have to have a plan. You have to have a common financial goal. Make it a point of duty to say, okay, this year, maybe as you enter the new year, or maybe as we're entering the second half of the year, you can just tell yourself, oh, this is what we want to do. Agree, both of you talk about it. And do you know one thing with God, and then with even the nature, once both of you have agreed on something, I tell you, it will be easier to achieve that thing. But if it's one person who has it in mind, and maybe they didn't share with the other person, or they shared with the other person and the other person don't see the reason to do that, or they don't see the sense in that, it might be very difficult to achieve. But once both of you are able to come together, talk about the goal you want to achieve, and begin to work at it, you will see that it will not be that difficult to achieve. And one of the goals you can set is, okay, this year, maybe for those maybe having some financial debt, you can say, oh, we're going to clear so debt before the give it a time frame, or you say, oh, this year we're going to work towards getting a property, getting a house, getting a land, getting something. Just tell yourself, just always, even for us, it's something we're coming to also learn and practice,
We are
because we
students.
are students, of course. Well, because these are things that a lot of couples don't do, and it really affects their finance. And so many times you find out that you actually have money that comes to you, but because you don't have any tangible plan, you don't have anything you have planned, you don't have a shared goal, a common goal that you have said, this is what we're going to do with this money. You'll see that those monies will come in, and you will just spend them on things you can't even remember, on things that are not tangible anymore, on things that you can't even really say, oh, this is what I did with the money. But the money that came, could have been enough for you to get a property, to get a land, to get something, to start up a business, a good business that could be running. So, but then if you don't have plan, people will come to you with their own plan. Oh, please, I need money for this. Can you help me? And because you have the money and you don't have a plan for the money, you don't really have something tangible both of you have set or agreed to do with the money. You find yourself just giving out the money, doing Father Christmas, Mother Christmas, and just giving money that you could have used to do something tangible. So, as couples, you need to learn. One way to navigate financial storm is to learn to set common financial goals. It can be in the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, at any point in time. Just agree that when we have money, when so money come, maybe a free gift, a money we weren't expecting, let's do it like this. Let's not just spend it. Let your money have what they are coming to do. So even if they come, they don't just sit down. They already have an assignment. They have where they are going to. And with that, you will see that by the end of the year, you would have achieved so much than when you did not have plan at all. And maybe that year you didn't even get as much money, but because you have it's structured, you have what to do with the money that comes, you find out that you're able to even achieve more because of plan.
Yeah, and it's said that if you fail to plan, you've planned to fail.
Mm.
And setting goal is part of plan. Permit me to just share some points before we go on the music break. Uh, Setting of goals is part of planning. And if you don't set goal, how do you measure your results?
Yeah.
Your goal is what will help you make targets and then from time to time, look back and check what milestone have we
Yeah, how are
achieved,
we doing?
how are we doing, are
Mm-hmm.
we on track, are
Mm-hmm.
we making the best of use of our resources,
Mm-hmm.
are we uh, going to make a little adjustment here and there in
Mm.
order to achieve our goal. It's just like playing a football without a goalpost.
Mm.
How are you going to measure who wins or
Mm.
who gets the upper hand? So you need to set a goal, you need to set targets, you need to define your goal and let it be smart. Smart stands for S, specific,
Mm.
measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. So it's like saying by the end of this year, that's time bound,
Mm.
we would be able to
Achieve.
have achieved this, maybe bought so property or invested X amount of money, invested 30%
Mm.
of our income in the stock market.
Mm.
So you've set a target,
Yeah.
and you can work towards it. I hope with these few points, we are learning, we are students, and let's just take a break so that we can reflect on these points. And when we come back, we'll be opening the phone lines so that we can hear from you ways couples can navigate financial storm. Enjoy this music break. We'll soon be back.